One got knocked down, he won't get up again. The other went knocked him down. One got knocked down, and now he's fucking dead. The other went knocked him out. Combo breaker!
The symbiote. Definitely an interesting power. Best friend? I mean, what the hell is it? As a living organism that bonds to their host and enhances their partner's abilities, I mean, it's honestly crazy what a symbiote can do. But there are two sides to this spectrum. There's the one that kind of makes you go mental and turn into like a monstrosity, like Eddie Brock, aka Venom. And the kind that's like your friend and helps you out, like Ryuko Matoi and her Kamui Senketsu. Venom. The not as badass Carnage. Nah, I'm just joking around. Venom's pretty kick-ass, and I'm hyped as hell for that movie. So, on to what Venom is capable of. His symbiote is capable of transformation that can pretty much restructure itself into various different things, such as tentacles, spikes, and even freaking wings. He also has a variety of disguises, and it can shapeshift to resemble clothes as well as camouflage itself. He can also climb on walls, create organic webbing, which is kind of like Spider-Man's, but you know, it's organic rather than that weird stuff he makes. I mean, obviously. He can climb up any surface, and his symbiote is like... Wait, what the fuck? His symbiote can go through electronic wiring and mess with the computers and whatnot. That's crazy. Won't necessarily help in this fight, but that's awesome. Venom also has an immunity to earthly diseases and poisons, and he can negate the spider sense. Again, that last one won't help him here, but it's still pretty cool to note. He also has a pretty awesome healing factor, as he's regrown entire limbs, and even healed when his head was bisected. He can also heal almost any sort of cancer or sickness just by touching the sick person. He can also track a person by their smell alone, and even erase memories with a single touch. Now, he's pretty strong, as he's shown to be superior to Spider-Man physically, and even as just a symbiote, he's been able to match Spider-Man in combat on more than one occasion. The same Spider-Man who's constantly lifting buildings, large rocks, and even pushed the Hulk physically, like moved the Hulk at a very high speed with nothing but physical strength. He's quick enough to keep up with Spider-Man in combat, the same Spider-Man who constantly dodges bullets, and even dodges lightning. Yeah. He's also survived gunshots, taking beatings from Spider-Man as well. You know, the Spider-Man who I just mentioned could physically move the Hulk and throw around Luke Cage? Yeah, the man's insane. Well, actually, quite literally. While Venom is smart enough to keep a super genius like Spider-Man on his toes as a fight, he's also mentally insane, as the symbiote has altered his mental state to not safe levels. He's truly insane. You know, and Venom isn't perfect, even in the slightest. He's highly weak to sound waves and sonic attacks, and heat attacks can be a huge problem for him as well. However, he has started building up a slight immunity to these things, so they're not as effective against him anymore. Ryuko Matoi. Well, this is her second appearance on my show. This is her second appearance, but the Kill La Kill vs. Devil May Cry 2 vs. 2 match was taken down for copyright reasons, for some reason I still don't know. So, let's talk about Ryuko Matoi, as this was her first match. So before we talk about Ryuko's powers, we kind of need to understand what her symbiote does. You see, Ryuko and her symbiote are made of what's called life fibers, and this is where she gets all of her strength from and the ability to transform. So she transforms, to transform, she feeds Senketsu her Kamui, which is what her symbiote is. She feeds it blood. This allows her to transform into a very skimpy outfit that pretty much gives her enhanced power boost. So you know what, let's move on to what Ryuko and Senketsu can do. So she can actually redirect sound waves and create after images that can freaking move, which doesn't make any sense, because if you think about it, an after image is like, it's like what's left after you move. It shouldn't be able to move because it's not actually there. So it's a very illogical thing, but it's anime. So you know what? Let's move on. Ryuko has godlike regeneration, and she can heal from pretty much anything, with really only one way to put her down for good, but I'll mention that later. She's able to create shockwaves with her pure willpower alone, and she can temporarily phase things through her body. She actually is, she's actually pretty amazing. Like this power right here, when she's closer to death, her stats actually get higher. That's some Dragon Ball Z type bullshit. She can also create high-powered air slashes, and she can run up fucking 90-degree angles. Also, she can run upside down somehow. God, this stuff is weird. She's also highly resistant to mental attacks and mind manipulation, and she can actually breathe in space. So now on to some special techniques and abilities with her Scissor Blade and Senketsu. Her Scissor Blade can extend out into decapitation mode, which is typically used to finish off a foe by decapitating them. It also has the Final Address mode, where it can grow to the size of a skyscraper, or even go to the next level where it pretty much trumps all of Hinoji Academy, which is a bit overkill, but you know what, it's anime, so we'll accept it. So now on to what Senketsu can do. So with the Blade Flash form, she grows Wolverine-style claws on her weapon, and her bikini-looking outfit thing gets covered in spikes. With Gale Mode, she gains flight, and she gets super pissed off to the point where her blood literally boils. She goes into Berserk Mode. But this mode, she does lose all control, and she loses her blood really fast, meaning she can't sustain this form for very long. She also has her Blade Gale form, which mixes both the Blade and Gale forms for flight and claws and shark pokey thingies. Ryuko's also super strong. She's made massive craters while fighting Satsuki. She's overpowered Nui Harame. She was she was shown to be capable of destroying the life fibers that destroyed the Earth, and she destroyed the SS Naked Sun, which earlier penetrated and severely damaged the primordial life fibers to the point of almost killing it. She's far faster than base Ragyo, who could casually outpace her previous forms, and she's able to outpace people like Ryu Harumoru and even Nui Harame, who runs at ridiculously high speeds. Ryuko is super durable as she took a barrage of attacks from Mako in her Fight Club uniform with no serious injuries. She took the destruction of Honoji Academy point blank and got him took quite a beating from a clone Satsuki without any damage, and the clone Satsuki completely trumps normal Satsuki in pretty much all stats. Although Ryuko is hot-headed, she's actually highly experienced in both hand-to-hand and armed combat. She's fought multiple foes, including visible enemies and ones that she couldn't harm through conventional means. She also has the help of Senketsu, who can help her figure out strategies to beat foes. But this doesn't mean she's perfect. You see, she will become very vulnerable to damage should her opponent manage to cut Senketsu's Banshee thread. And if any part of her body is cut from both sides simultaneously, i.e. with scissors of some sort, she can't regenerate. Every life fiber thread still needs to be precisely cut, however. So this is basically, she's allowed herself to be deliberately cut in half from both sides, but she was still able to regenerate as the cut wasn't precise enough to actually cause this weakness to, activate. Also, Ryuko can also be rather reckless and hot-headed at times, which can be a huge problem in fights. Ryuko is walking through Honoji Academy with Mako when she hears growling from the shadows of a corner. She turns and sees Venom, who jumps at Mako, and Ryuko transforms and kicks Venom in the gut, launching him into a wall. Ryuko tells Mako to run as Venom stands back up and runs and charges at Ryuko for an attack. Venom slashes at her stomach with her claws, cutting her open, and he follows up with a whip from his symbiote tentacles. Ryuko slides back as her wounds start to heal. Venom pounces at her and she blocks with her blade and pushes him off. She then follows up with a spinning slash, pretty much cutting Venom multiple times. She finishes with an upward slash, sending Venom skyward. Ryuko smiles as she extends out her blade into decapitation mode, but Venom launches out his web and grabs her blade and throws it to the side. Venom then lunges at her with his claws out. He stabs them into her and starts to rip her apart. When all of a sudden spikes protrude out from Ryuko's outfit and Venom is impaled, causing him to back up. Ryuko flies forward at her sword, but Venom webs her up with a few quick shots. Venom then rushes over and dashes past her, slashing her open with his claws. He then jumps up and swipes his claws downwards, causing her to bleed heavily as she's cut on multiple areas. She then falls to the ground bleeding. Venom roars out as Ryuko stands back up in near perfect condition as her scissor blade extends out and she rushes forward and cuts Venom clean in half. She then follows up with another slice, removing his head. Ryuko puts away her scissor blade and transforms back to normal as she goes to check on Mako. Our winner is Ryuko Matoi, and oh boy, does she win by quite the landslide. Starting off with strength and durability, Ryuko is a continent buster, as she's shown at the end of the series to fight a high-powered clone of Satsuki, and she was shown to be strong enough to destroy the Naked Sun, which that right there is like continent levels of strength and durability. She was able to both take hits and damage the clone Satsuki. Venom is a city buster, as he's stronger than Spider-Man and has taken quite the beating from Spider-Man, who could move the Hulk at high speeds with sheer force alone. As for speed, they're both massively hypersonic, as Ryuko has outpaced Nui Harame, and Venom's fought Spider-Man, who could dodge machine gun fire and lightning. So, healing factors. Venom's is very good, as he could heal at a high pace, and even heal at a similar pace to Carnage, who could heal entire limbs that went missing. But Ryuko, it just puts his to shame, as she's been chopped in half and it's pretty much come back from it no matter what. And the only way to nullify this healing factor is to cut from both sides at a precise angle with scissors, which with Venom and his mentally insaneness and his claws isn't going to know how to do, and B, has a low chance of doing it just from getting lucky. Plus, there's the fact that Ryuko has deliberately let herself get cut in half multiple times from both sides and still healed from it because it wasn't precise enough. And that's from people in the show who would know about this kind of weakness. And finally, intelligence. While Venom has kept up with Spider-Man and kept him on his toes during combat, Ryuko's fought a multitude of foes with unique things that are hard to work around, like invisibility, and she actually has, technically speaking, outside help constantly with Senketsu, who's also a genius and has aided her in combat, both mentally and physically. Really, Venom has no way to put down Ryuko for good, whereas Ryuko could easily end Venom in a hit or two. It's just such a large strength and durability gap, so it looks like Venom got Kill Lock killed. Our winner is Ryuko Matoi. Next time on Combo Breaker. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this next match has zero theme. It doesn't even make sense, probably. I'm just doing it because I think it would be kick-ass, and it's combining one of probably my favorite Street Fighter character of all time to a pretty popular Marvel character. I'm pretty sure you haven't guessed it by now, but next time on Combo Breaker, we're having Black Panther fight Akuma from Street Fighter. First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.